How's it been through the first week plus in camp?
I think it's been good. I mean, guys are working hard to get better. It's definitely not a finished product yet, but as you hear the head guy talk about as far as guys' approach and how they're trying to get better each day, it's something that we have to just keep harping on it because that's what's going to make the difference in the end.
Coach has talked about the depth, being a concern. Have you seen that building in what ways?
You know what? I mean, we talk a lot about consistency as far as with our unit. It is something where we have some guys who don't have a lot of game experience. So until they get that opportunity, consistency was going to be the thing that shows that they are taking the proper steps to get better. I think at times, it has showed more consistency on some days, and some others maybe not as much. But from an effort standpoint, I think it's been there. Some guys you have to drill down a little bit more and bring that technique along every step of the way that they have an opportunity to get reps in.
Regarding Kevin Wilkins, two-part. One, his versatility, how much of a benefit is that? And then from a leadership perspective, does he bring that too?
Definitely talk about a versatile guy. He does have athleticism and size, so he does give us the capability of using him in different ways. That's something that's going to help us going into the season. And then his leadership role in our room has been good. He's been something that's taken baby steps to get to a certain point. He's been working hard at it, and in turn, we do have young guys in our room that we have two seniors, him and John, in our room, Badeke, that guys look up to and lean on.
How has Badeke been this time around? Have you seen more of a leadership role, and what's his play been like?
You know what? With him, he's always the guy that kind of leads by example, and with him, I think also he's been healthy. So it's been great for him to be healthy so he can take the reps that he needs and doesn't feel like he's being pounded, but yet he can still add to the facets of his game. But he's been a great addition also from a standpoint of the leadership role because those guys have played a lot of ball for us. And like I said earlier, when you lack experience where guys just have not put their hand down in non-conference play and or Big Ten play, those guys that the young dudes have to lean on.
Throughout his career, Wilkins kind of played inside and out. Is the plan to keep him on the outside for now?
Well, I think based on those packages that we have, he can do a little bit of both. Him training the way he did in the offseason, putting himself in position to be able to be strong and be as agile as possible is going to prepare him to do those jobs, whether he's lined up outside or inside.
And you said he could slide inside. Who's the first guy that comes in if he slides inside?
Well, I think package-wise, that's still up in the air. It hasn't been determined yet. There's some guys that's vying for spots, and what they're going to do is if a guy does a lot of jobs better than the other, then that gives us the capability of doing what we can do as far as outside and inside guys.
I guess, are you a big advocate for going big, like in a pass rush situation, and bringing those ends inside?
Well, I'm all for getting the best suited guys on the field, to get the stop. Especially when we talk about third down. A lot of people do a lot of different things these days. We got to get the best 11 on the field. That can provide what we're asking, whether it's rush, whether it's coverage, whether it's both of those things at a high rate. So whoever those guys are, because a lot of guys are campaigning for those jobs right now, that's what we want on the field.
Julius Turner might probably end up being like the lightest nose tackle in the Big Ten. I guess, what have you seen from him so far, and how do you think that kind of agility and quickness helps him in that spot, where usually is a much bigger guy?
Yeah, there are some guys that's bigger than him. I think that he's worked to get to the weight that he is right now. He does have a trunk on him, has a base. And with that being said, he has to know when to use his leverage and his speed and athleticism as opposed to when to anchor down and when he's going to take on those double teams and how to play those blocks. So it's something that we work on a lot for him because when he does have the chance to use his quickness, he has to use that as a good changeup and then surprise people because he does have some power. He can be explosive. So he has to make sure he always has that leverage capability of surprising cats with his power.
And you mentioned some of those young guys that didn't play, Mason and Tverdoff particularly. Do you see them as being guys who can contribute and have a role this year?
I do. I think those guys are working hard. Whatever that role is still yet to be defined. But they are guys who obviously provide what their strengths are. Sometimes it's quickness. Sometimes it may be third down ability. Sometimes it may be in some different packages. But those guys are working hard at the jobs we're giving them right now, and they're growing. So I'm excited for those guys to get out there and showcase their skill set and see how much they grow in the early season.
How do you feel about the pressure, pressure on the quarterback? How do you feel all that's developing?
Well, I mean, that's football from a defensive line perspective. A lot of people are actually going to talk about that. That's something that's one of the jobs of the defensive line. So regardless of who those guys may be, because obviously we have some some jacks and things like some overhands that we provide to help in that package. But we talk about stopping the run on first and second down so we can get ourselves to that situation and then have fun on third down. But it is something that we're trying to improve upon. We put an emphasis on it this fall camp, and it's something that we have to continue to get better at.
Back at Miami, Ohio, you guys played a couple Big Ten teams here and there. Do you think that's helped you prepare for this job?
Well, I mean, I would say playing in this conference helped me first and foremost because you know how tough it is. You know week in and week out, you got to bring your A game. And then having, familiarity with some of the teams, obviously like personnel that they still may have on squads, does help from that perspective. But, Big Ten football, I'm always biased towards it, and I still think it's the best conference, and I'm excited to be here and showcase what we have in this conference.
Obviously, you played, went up against AJ in college. What's it like to have your units go up against each other now?
That's a good one. He's still scrappy, man. Back then, he just used to cut block a lot, so now he can't do that anymore. But he's still feisty, still scrappy. We still have our head-to-head battles because, sometimes I played inside, he played center, so it was down in, down out that we went against each other, and it's the same thing here. So, good rivalry, man.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach.